Hi everybody, welcome back once again, or should I say bonjour tout le monde. J'espère que vous allez bien. I got this beret on, so it's making me feel a little Frenchified, I guess. Anyway, hi. Thank you so much for checking me out again this week. I appreciate it. This is episode 9 of Grief Talks with Noel. Can you believe it's been 9 episodes already? Wow. Thank you again for deciding to pay attention to what I have to talk about this week. I appreciate it, and I promise you that this is all for all of us. This is for me, and this is for you to help us make some sense out of our new nonsense world. This world that's just unfathomable. This world that we hoped we would never be in, but we find ourselves here. And so we're trying to journey through it together. We're trying to figure it out together. We're trying to crawl through it, pick up the pieces together, and it's my honor to help you do so. I take a lot of pride in what I do. I don't just throw things together every week. I don't just ramble and just talk off the top of my head every week, but I have prepared for you. I have like a list of topics that I'd like to cover during this series. I'm not sure how many there will be. This is 9. I think I have at least 11 more in me to give a solid 20, maybe 25. I have no idea. But I do know that these are from my heart, and I don't just throw things together, but I prepare for you, and I want you to feel valued, and I want you to know how much your journey matters to me. And so I'm very proud of the content that I present. I'm not a professional, but that doesn't make me any less proud of what I present to you. It's well thought out, and I do put a good amount of effort every week into what I'm going to say to you, so that you don't feel like this is someone who's trying to help you, but is feeling through the darkness, at least verbally and at least in execution of the presentation herself. Emotionally, I'm feeling through the darkness, but I don't want to present that way as far as the content that I present. So thank you again for checking me out, and I hope that you'll tell family members, friends, those that you know who are hurting. Please help me reach the world. I really want to reach as many people as possible. So if you can subscribe, like, comment, share, repost. I put these videos on YouTube on purpose because I wanted them to be accessible globally. I want people in Sri Lanka to be able to click on these videos and listen to them and benefit from them as well. Okay, so email address as always. Ta-da! grieftalkswithnoel@gmail.com. I would love to know that you're out there, so if you would take the time to just send me a quick hi, that would be wonderful. I did run into someone that I knew this weekend, and she told me, she's a daddy's girl like myself, and she told me that she's been watching. I had no idea that she's been watching my videos, but she told me that she has been and that they've been helping her. So that was encouraging to me, because sometimes I question whether or not I'm supposed to even be doing this, but hearing your feedback really helps me to believe that I'm on the right path as far as this goes, and that what I'm doing is impactful and is helpful to you. So send me a line, drop me a line, send me an email. If you have my number, text me, DM me something, and let me know what this endeavor, what this experience means to you. All right, so today, episode 9, the title is a little strange, I guess, in that I guess more of my titles have been more direct. This one has a bit more abstractness to the nature of the title. The title is Disloyalty / Table 11. Here we go. 35 years and 10 days. That's all I got with my father. 35 years and 10 days. And I don't say that to minimize anything, rather. I'm just saying 35 years and 10 days, that's what I got with him. And I know that's a blessing, because some people didn't get as long as I did. But I was blessed to have him in my life 35 years and 10 days. Oh my gosh, I just told my age. I just realized that, but oh well. 35 years and 10 days is how long he was with me, and until he was taken suddenly. Didn't know it was going to happen, didn't see it coming, but it happened, and my whole world has changed because of it. But for those 35 years and 10 days that I had him, I'm proud to say I was loyal to him every single day. Loyal to what he needed, loyal to what he believed in, loyal to his needs, whatever I could find to do to help to assist my father, to show love to my father. I did those things. And although I was loyal to him for my entire life, I am really struggling every day without him. I am struggling with almost a gripping sense of disloyalty, because the concept of moving forward makes me feel incredibly disloyal to my father. My father was feeling very forgotten towards the unexpected end of his life. He was well respected in the community, well respected on the East Coast in our denomination, and just like, just a wonderful man, a giant of a man. But yet, and still, he was feeling, you know, insignificant and forgotten sometimes. And so, because of that, I'm very sensitive to the concept of moving forward, because although I realize there's a distinct difference between moving forward and moving on. Moving on means that you're kind of forgetting about what happened before, the past experiences that you had, and you are just like, you're on a trip somewhere else. Moving forward does not necessarily mean that you are forgetting what happened, but you're trying your best to progress despite the circumstances. So, but I really struggle with the notion of moving forward, because it feels like I'm forgetting about my father. And I know that's probably not rational, but neither is the grieving process. You're going to go through a good amount of irrationality. So I feel like it's disloyal for me to even think about progressing with my life. And another reason that I struggle to think about moving forward, another reason I struggle with this concept, this sense of disloyalty, is because he's going to miss so much of my life. And it's really difficult for me to imagine progressing, to imagine moving forward, because I know he's not going to be there. I mean, there's things that I've been blessed to do, things that I've been blessed to accomplish while he was with me. But then there's so much that I haven't even done yet. And I know he's not going to be there for it. And so sometimes I'm like, what's the point of even trying to, be great or greater than I've been blessed to be? Like, because he's not going to experience any of it. So I'm struggling with that. And maybe you can relate to what I'm feeling. I was always, as I mentioned last week, I was always a very gregarious child. I was always very, the kind of kid that was never afraid to get up and do things, and center of attention, not on purpose, but just fearless. I was always that kind of kid, and I just was blessed to do a lot of things and have a lot of opportunities to shine because of that. And everything that I would do growing up, my father would just like almost stop every time I did something that was, really good. He would just stop and almost stare at me and just say, "You never cease to amaze me." Like I literally don't know if there's anything that you cannot do. I have not yet found anything that you cannot do. And so with every triumph, with every accomplishment, with every good thing that happened, every blessing that I was blessed to, fortunate enough to experience, he would say to me, like, he would stand there, shake his head, smile at me, laugh a little bit, put his arm around me, kiss me on the cheek. I'd feel his mustache tickle my face, and he would say, "You never cease to amaze me, Muffy. You are incredible." And my nickname is Muffy. Muffy, you are just incredible. There's nothing that you cannot do. And my mother told me an interesting story earlier today. She said that when I was a little girl, I would sing all the time in the house, very loudly. I'd be in my room just singing. And he would say, "Listen to Muffy." And she would say, "Oh, you want me to tell her to stop?" He would say, No, she's going to be like Whitney Houston. Let her sing." And so the fact that he believed in me and had so much confidence in my abilities and my gifts and my talents, like that really meant the world to me. So moving forward without him here anymore, embracing that greatness, seeing where these gifts can really take me, feels really, really disloyal. Table 11. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to do something I had not done in a long time. I went to school for theater. My undergraduate degree is in theater. And I graduated in 2008. And I had not done anything theatrical for quite a while. I took a 10-year hiatus. Life just took over, and I just was not on the stage for about 10 years. And then I got the opportunity to be in one of my favorite plays of all time, Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun. And it was a local production, community theater production, and my father was so proud that I was back up there again. And he knew that it was something that I wanted to do. He knew that my passion has always been on stage performance in some capacity. And so he was telling everybody about this show, and his daughter was starring in A Raisin in the Sun, and he wanted to just let the world know. He posted on Facebook about it. He would talk to his preacher friends about it. This is actually his program, the copy of his program from our show. And see, that's me in that bad 1950s wig. He was so proud, and he was there for opening night, and he was there for closing night. And at closing night, I remember we came out on stage and we bowed at the end of the show, and we held hands together and we took a bow. And I remember looking back up and seeing just as clear as day, like this, as clearly as I see myself right now on this camera, seeing my father seated at table 11, clapping. I mean, I can see him clapping, whistling, clapping. I can see his wedding band in my eye. I can see everything. And he was so proud. Why I had that clear shot to him, I don't know. But he was that table that he was at, he and my mom were at table 11 in the theater. And it was pretty much like the center of the house. And you could pretty much see the stage very well. It was a great table to have. And it was one of the best tables in the house. And I was so excited that I got my tickets for them at that table, at table 11, because I knew they would have a great view of the stage. And so curtain call, we're bowing. And I look up and I see my daddy clapping and whistling. He had this piercing whistle that he would do, usually to call me and my brother in from playing outside, or if we were not home or whatever, he would whistle on the front porch and we would come home. But anyway, he was whistling at the end of the show, and he's whistling and clapping and just like so celebratory of me and applauding me and cheering me on. And so that image is embedded in my mind. And although he'll never, unfortunately, physically be here with me again, I think that if I can keep that table 11 image in my mind, it will help me kind of put away my feelings of disloyalty, because the definition of loyalty, the opposite of disloyalty, is allegiance. It's fidelity. It's a sense of honor, a sense of respect, a sense of duty to something that really matters to you. And my loyalty to my father was always evident, and that's never going to change. I will always have a sense of allegiance to him, and that will never, ever go away. But one thing I found out about loyalty, I was researching it earlier today. It said, and what I found is that loyalty is necessary for productivity. It's a part of a productive relationship. So it's not a passive thing. It's not something that you can do while staying in one spot. And so as bad as it hurts me to even think about moving forward at all, think about embracing greatness, think about doing those things, think about being on that stage, getting an Oscar or getting a Tony or getting a Grammy or getting an Emmy or whatever, or getting an Obie, whatever is out there, a stellar, whatever's out there for me, whatever God has planned for me, whatever that is. And God knows I have no idea what that is. I'm so lost and confused right now, but whatever is in this future plan that God has for me, as bad as it hurts me to know that my dad won't be there physically, and as disloyal as it feels to think about moving on and to think about embracing these things without him being there, I got that table 11 image in my mind. And I see him clapping, and I'm gonna keep that alive in my heart, and that's gonna help me, I think, to want to embrace the notion of moving forward, knowing that whereas he might not be there physically to cheer me on, I can keep that image in my heart, and I can hold on to that image in my mind, and I'll always see it. My memory has always been sharp for all of my life, and it's a blessing and a curse. And sometimes I really appreciate it, though, because in times like this, especially when I'm able to keep that image alive of my father cheering me on, clapping, standing there, whistling, celebrating me, then I'm going to keep that in my heart forever. So do not feel, or try not to feel, maybe you're experiencing the same thing, a sense of disloyalty in regards to moving forward after the passing of your loved one. But hopefully you've got a scenario in your mind where they were there cheering for you, where they were there rooting for you, where they were there celebrating for you. Keep that in your mind and keep that generated in your memory, Keep them in your heart, and they'll always be rooting for you. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I hope that you'll tune in next week for the next episode of Grief Talks with Noel, and let's keep talking. Bye.